Hello and welcome, my giraffes-wearing socks. How you doing today? It's Chris here, Super John Bombo, and I've got a super special video for you guys. We're gonna be talking about the Engineer today, the new tower in Bloons TD 6. We're mostly gonna go over the top path and the Sentry Paragon upgrade over here, alright? Now, this is actually very complicated, so I actually want to go into quite a bit of depth about the Engineer over here. So let's talk about these guys, but before we get there, I know what you guys came for. You guys want to see the freaking 5th tier Engineer. So if you want to see this thing, press that like button. Alright, just do it for me, man. Pretty please. Press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more cool Engineer videos. But here he is, man. Check him out. The Engineer monkey, Sentry Paragon. Creates an unstable, did you guys see that right? An unstable version of the Sentry Gun that shoots out big plasma blasts. Yeah, check this out. And look at the pop count on these guys, by the way. Look how fast that goes up right there. And you got 4 of them on the screen at the same time. And then, when they're done, like, oh, it just explodes. Like, oh, that kind of sucks. It's kind of sad that they explode and just disappear over there. But they do damage when they explode! So, okay, before we get here, though, man, we got to go back to the base Engineer. We got to talk about this guy, because they're actually quite important. They're going to be they're going to be a staple of our Bloons TD6 gameplay from now on, guys. They're just freaking good. They're a very, very good starting tower. The weirdest part about them is they're a support tower. So for a support tower to be one of your best continuous towers throughout the game is kind of weird, but I think it's going to be important for us to note that. So starting off, just the regular Engineer over here, man. If we just send out, I don't know, let's just do 25 reds over here. He's going to do a pretty decent amount of pops over here to start off the game. 3, 6, 9, 12, 8, so he does 3 pops per shot. Not anything too crazy when you actually compare him to the Dart Monkey. In fact, actually, probably much worse than the Dart Monkey at that rate. Has a little bit faster attack speed, I believe, but at the same time, only 1 extra pop, and it can still miss and everything. But then, this is where everything is going to change for your guys' Sentry Guns. Alright, so you guys have seen these things before. Started in BTD5 Deluxe, moved on into BTD5, became a very common tower, moved on to Bloons Buggy City, became one of the most favorited towers in all of Bloons, basically. And with these Sentry Guns, basically what's going to happen here is, let's speed this up real quick so you can see what's going on. We've got 3 Sentry Guns at the same time for a little while, and then 2 Sentry Guns at the same time for a little while. I think it's actually about even, if I do say so myself, between 2 and 3. 3 might be on there for like a smidge longer or something like that, but it's pretty close over here. And what's cool about these guys, of course, every single one of these Sentry Guns can still pop 1 balloon per shot. They're not super duper fast or anything like that, but in the early part of the game here, man, this is where it's going to end up being fan-frickin-tastic over here. One very interesting aspect about these guys, though, that I noted right away, is that the targeting of the Sentry Guns is going to follow whatever your Engineers set at. So, for example, all of my Engineers and Sentries are on first right now. All right. So, when I switch this guy to strong, all of my old Sentry Guns are still going to remain on first. But the new Sentry Guns, new Sentry Gun, there, new Sentry Guns are going to be on strong. As soon as you switch it to close or whatever, then the new Sentry Guns after that, again, going to be on strong over here. So, I switched? Yeah, okay, good. I switched that right. Just making sure. But I thought that was really freaking cool. I actually don't like it. I would prefer if all the Sentry Guns stayed on first, and this guy I could switch to last because he shoots down straight lines really effectively. So putting him in a spot something like over here would actually be a really good spot to put him on last. Because once you get the Sentry Gun, the faster engineering, and eventually oversized nails or something like that, shoot through 8 balloons per shot and be just absolutely freaking dominating over here. But then all the Sentry Guns are going to be stuck on last as well, and will kind of suck a little bit. So, okay, let's move on a little bit. I was talking about that for a little bit too long. Now, moving on to the faster engineering. So what you can notice about the faster engineering is that you have between 3 and 4 Sentry Guns on the screen at the same time. So, if you actually get deep in, like, the math of everything, it's actually not as efficient as you probably want it to be. Sure, the faster engineering is cheaper than just sentries themselves, but you're only basically getting 1 sentry more on the screen at the same time, all right, because it's between 3 and 4. It's pretty freaking close overall, but generally, unless I was getting other upgrades from Engineer, I'd probably get multiple 1-0 Engineers rather than a single 2-0 Engineer. Until I got other random upgrades like Sprockets or oversized nails or other maybe larger surface area depending on where I want it to be, you know? So that thing is going to be kind of important for us to note about the Engineer here. Sprockets increases Sentry Gun and Engineer attack speed over here for only 400 bucks. So this is going to make everything about him awesome. I think this is going to be generally the Sentry Gun that people try to get. You want to have a Sentry Gun that can pop lots of balloons, attack really fast, and have a Sentry Gun, his sentries also do a crap ton of damage over here. So we're going to send out a crap ton of blues. We're going to see they do attack a little bit faster over here, but it's nothing intense, and it still doesn't increase their popping power at all. Which I think is probably the biggest weakness of the Engineer right now, is that he doesn't do good popping power when you get grouped balloons coming out over here, guys. Only good for early game, not good for rounds, you know, 35, 37, 38, 40, and then anything beyond that, man, where you got big chunks of ceramics coming out, this guy's just not going to cut it anymore. But then moving on to the Sentry Expert. Now, this guy is freaking cool, dude. The way this guy's going to work is he's got 4 different sentries he can send out. The Crushing Sentry, the Boom Sentry, the Cold Sentry, and the Energy Sentry. Alright, it just so happened that that worked out literally perfectly right there, that it showed every single one of them. I don't think it does that automatically every single time. I think it's not random, though. What's interesting about this is that it actually tries to put out the right sentry for the balloons that are coming out against it. For example, check this out. Alright, so what can pop a mob class balloon? Well, let's see. Oh, I didn't really mean to do 25 of these guys. That was kind of bad. That doesn't look good at all. Alright, let's try something different, because that was a fail right there. Let's do let's do some yellow balloons or something. No, let's do ceramics. This will be a perfect example. You guys haven't even seen what happened. The Crushing Sentry, by the way, shoots out a Juggernaut Ball. Alright? And the Juggernaut Balls obviously do extra damage to ceramic class balloons, right? So that's why you're going to try, he's going to try, if possible, to send out more Crushing Sentries. You're going to see more and more Crushing Sentries pop up over here. And obviously, it's pretty freaking sexy, right? That's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, he's adjusting to what balloons are coming out against him. Of course, these guys don't pop lead balloons. So when we start popping out lead balloons over here, this is going to get a little scary for him. He's like, oh crap, I can't pop any lead balloons. I need to put down the right sentry for my lead balloons, the Boom Sentries. Again, it's not perfect over here, guys, but it does do a decent job of trying to adjust to what kind of balloons are coming out. And you can see the balloons are trying to sneak through now. They're like, oh no, let's pop the ice towers down. So at least he tries. All right, at least he tries. It's not perfect, but at least he's got something going on, and maybe it does a little bit better job knowing what real rounds are coming out against you. Like if the game knows it's around 33, maybe it'll actually just say, oh, I'll build around, I don't know, 35. I'll build a good mixture of energy sentries and crushing sentries and a little bit of boom sentries to make sure I get all the damage going on, you know? Just a good mixture over there. And last but not least, of course, we've got the Sentry Paragon. It took all that time to get over here, guys. I promised I would get here, and I will. This guy is awesome, all right? If I had to say so, I think he's my favorite 5th-tier engineer. For a plethora of reasons. But I think the main thing is he's got a good regular attack. And then when you see these guys explode, check this out, guys. When you see the explosions, ba-bam, you're going to see a pretty extreme amount of damage happening over here to those balloons around him. So bam, bam, bam. That's not just a tiny bit of damage. That's a pretty significant amount. I mean, it's like we're popping basically Moabs down from almost nothing with just a single explosion over here. So actually, positioning on these guys might actually be kind of important. Putting them down sort of like a attack shooter might be not a good thing, but a thing you at least want to think about in the back of your mind over here. Let the explosions actually do some damage over here. They're highly unstable, all right? Paragon Sentry. Now it does, of course, have some weaknesses here, guys. We don't even get camo detection, right? Yeah. But if we do get camo detection, let's see what happens here, man. Just quick little camo detection. Guess what? DDT? You freaking kidding me? This guy can pop DDTs? Now, usually we're dealing with like 3 DDTs at a time or something like that. This guy's not even in a good position here. 3 DDTs? No problem, but dude, that was pretty freaking good for just a single 5th tier in a bad spot. Let's put him in a better spot here. A lot of curiosity, man. Curiosity always gets the best of me. 5th tier, let's send out 3 DDTs. 1, 2, 3. He doesn't have all 3. I gotta redo that one more time. He didn't have all 3 sentries up yet. There we go. 3 DDTs. Finally, Chris gets it right. And it looks like no problem, man. No problem at all. Early 4 sentries is really what he can build out over here. Oh, one other thing that I haven't really talked about yet. it's kind of important here for just engineers in general. But if you build an engineer, now they have these little, well, any tower, now they have these little things that pop up that say what kind of buffs you have or what powers are actually in range over here. So what happens is if you build your engineer in range, and then you get Sentry Guns or Faster Engineering, well, you're used to, okay, if the Sentry Gun's in range, of course, it's going to have its own little bonuses over here, but if the Sentry Gun is not in range, throw some sentries over here, boy. Come on. There we go. It also still has the bonus, even though it's not in range of the Monkey Village. So that's actually kind of important to note, that you're going to get all your bonuses on all of your Sentry Guns, even if they're not in range of the Monkey Village itself over here, guys. But now, just out of curiosity, I'm going to do this one more time. We're going to see how much damage we can do to, like, a bad balloon or something. See if we can, I don't think we can take it down, but just out of curiosity, I just want to see how much damage we're going to do to this guy. We're going to pop in this guy. We're going to get extra jungle drums and radar scanner just to give him that camo detection, just in case we get down to DDTs over here, but I don't think we will. But if you actually look at the pop count over here, a bad balloon, I think, has 20,000 health at this level. His single sentry gun itself is going to do about 1,000 damage and still explode on this guy afterwards. So it looks like we're going to, at the very least, pop the bad balloon layer. DDTs on the inside, probably not. So, oh my god, so we'll probably get down to, like, Moabs or something, but not probably pop very many of the balloons. That's my guess. Let's see how it goes. But just imagine, this is only a $40,000 tower. You should not be able to kill a bad balloon with a $40,000 tower and all of its contents inside. That would be too overpowered, if I do say so myself. One thing about the sentries is obviously they've got a decent amount of range, but it's nothing intense, man. It's just okay. All right. As stated before, oh, there we go. DDTs. They get popped. Well, one of them gets popped, but nothing really happens with the balloons inside. There's, oh my god, over here. We're getting pretty lucky with our Sentry Gun location, too, man. They're actually kind of all on the right side over here where we need them. They almost look very pixelated when you click on them. We're going to pop down to BFBs and Bobs and everything, but it doesn't look like we're actually going to do anything with anything lower than that. Kind of as anticipated here. Good guess from Chris. But that is it, man. That's the Engineer. That's the Paragon Sentry Gun, or Sentry Paragon. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't. And, of course, have a super duper delicious day.